if any light beer is like worth its ilk, I feel like it should just be able to be just mindlessly drank. Maybe that's what that guy meant.
Easy on the brain.
Easy on the brain.
I get it
Yeah,
now.
just mindlessly
I get it
drink
now.
it. Welcome back to Short Pour. We're your hosts. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brandon.
For the next few episodes, we are going to be entering a new season. This is the season of the lighter side.
Yep, so we are just going to match this theme for the next few beers. And I think the first beer up is actually yours.
The first beer for the season of the lighter side is the Modelo Oro, which means, translated, that means model gold, or the gold model, I guess. Modelo means model or example, and Oro means gold.
All right.
Modelo Oro is a light, clear golden beer with a smooth, refreshing taste. Coming in at only 90 calories per 12-ounce can, it is made with barley malt, rice, and hops. It has a sweet and fruity flavor with notes of lemon and grapefruit.
Oh, really?
It is a 4.0% alcohol by volume. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. Lemon and grapefruit. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it does sound good. I guess I just assumed, I don't know, like just a super light beer is all I was thinking.
Yeah, no, I never, for any light beer, I honestly don't even associate any notes other than just the barley. I guess maybe barley and just a little bit of hops, maybe.
Yeah, I always just assume it's going to be somewhere around Miller Lite.
Yep.
Give or take some water, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pour mine.
Okay, yeah, I'll go for it. Dude, this is even like a thin can.
It is, yeah. They do have the tall, thin cans.
It's like a Red Bull, yeah, like a energy drink can or something.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder why they do that. I wonder if it's just so that way people think like, oh yeah, it's a skinny can for a skinny drink, you know?
Yeah, they might. Because like a big draw to these is obviously like the calories, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Or just like the slightly lower alcohol content. Although this is like only like 1% or so lower than like most of the beers we've had on here so far.
Well, and also, doesn't a Miller Lite have like 96 calories or something like that? I mean, like it's not that noticeably
True, lighter or whatever, like lower.
lighter.
Yeah.
But it is on the lighter side.
I will say, visually, it looks like every other light beer I've ever seen.
Yeah, it does.
There's no head on mine. I don't know about yours, but I poured it like straight down. There was a little bit of a head that like evaporated immediately.
Yeah, it is gone. It looks like a beer that's been sitting in those cup holders like in a stadium. And there's a beer there that's been sitting for the past like 4 innings or something.
Yeah,
That's what it
it's
looks
just like hot and flat now.
Yeah.
Dude, it does look flat already. It does.
We should probably go ahead and start drinking then.
Dude, yeah, that's wild, man. There's literally no head.
Gone.
You're right. There's no trace of foam whatsoever. That's kind of that's honestly impressive.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, yeah,
All
let's
right,
go ahead. Let's go ahead and drink it.
What do you think?
I mean, I kind of like it.
Yeah, I do think I get a little bit of the fruit in there.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I tasted it, and with thinking of it, I was trying to notice if there was some of that citrus. I think it's more of like the sensation of citrus rather than the taste of citrus.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like that little bit of like bite on your tongue or something, like in the back.
Yeah.
Rather than tasting like lemon.
Yeah, I mean, it has a little more. It has a little more going on with the taste than, I guess, what I would think of for a typical light beer.
Mm-hmm.
But it obviously it's still really light. But
I actually kind of like that. You're right. I feel like the flavor is almost like a sharper flavor than like I don't know. I feel like with most light beers, like I drink it and like I get a lot of that just like I don't know, like big barley taste. You know, the people who are
big
trying
barley.
to yeah, the people who are trying to take over all of the barley, big barley, trying to sell you all of it. But I don't know. I guess this is why we're changing the show format because you don't know how to talk about the beer.
Yeah. I feel like this would be a great like float trip beer.
I don't know. Now, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I think it'd be a great like change of pace float trip beer.
I was gonna say I don't think it'd be a good float trip beer because it is already very close to flat after pouring like initially within, minutes. I don't think that this beer is jostling down a river for any sort of time and still maintaining its little bit of carbonation left. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe that would be what gives it more. Is that like you're shaking it up as you're going down the river, and
Yeah, you make your own carbonation.
it actually has some carbonation at that point. Yeah. All right. You want to do some reviews?
Yeah.
So the first one. Look, clear, dark gold, pouring a thin cap head which dissipated into near nothing.
Yep.
That part's true.
Yeah.
Strong orange zest, lightly toasted malt, and some caramel. Weak. Well, they started off by saying it was strong, and then I guess the caramel's weak.
Yeah, I would imagine the caramel, I guess then.
Taste. Bland. Biscuit malt. With a hint of lemon and orange. Finish is like soda water with a hint of malt.
I feel like I've drank carbonated waters that taste way more carbonated than this.
Yeah, they like hurt my nose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think LaCroix is the worst at that.
Yeah.
I heard that described as the taste of electricity, and that feels pretty apt to me.
Yeah. Feel. Light medium body. Moderate carbonation. Semi-crisp finish. Overall, just bland and whack.
And whack.
I think they spelled weak wrong. It's just W-A-K, and I think they left out the E, but it says whack.
Whack. That's hilarious. It's like that dude sitting out there, like, your 90 calories, whack. Your barley, whack.
Yeah.
Your rice, whack. Your grapefruit, whack.
Yeah. Your caramel, weak.
Yeah.
Second one. Has a milder Modelo flavor. The regular is too strong in the aftertaste. Although there was... Oh, I remember about this review now. I am going to venture to guess that this review was written by, I don't know the nice way to say this, but someone older than us. At
Okay.
least. They do the thing where they put ellipses in between every thought.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Has a milder Modelo flavor, ... The regular is too strong in the aftertaste, ... It's just all the way through. Although there was / is an aftertaste. Oh, and then it starts not making sense after a while. Didn't feel full after 20-ounce can. Rather easy to drink a lot. Citrus is medium. Bubble is strong and crisp. Easy on the brain. What the hell does that mean?
What? Easy on the brain. Also, this guy got a 20-ounce can?
Yeah, what is ours?
12. It's a regular can.
Well, I don't know. I mean, a 20 ounce isn't like that crazy of an amount to be like, whoa, I'm full. I'm stuffed from this beer.
Yeah, this
You know
isn't a
what,
Guinness.
Right. I don't know. Anyway, they continue after easy on the brain. Nice color. Different. Doesn't taste like other beers.
What? Different? What?
That's just its own thought. Different.
Different. Doesn't taste like other beers. Dude, this tastes like every other light beer. And it looks like every other light beer.
Yes. Will buy again. Didn't see any bottles, so don't know what the real taste is. First drink. Even is good after the cold has gone.
So this is the kind of guy that would like it just sitting out at the baseball game.
Yeah, well, also, what does he mean first drink? Like, this is the first time having this specific drink?
Like his first sip?
Or yeah, this is based on the first sip? Or, they've lived their life not drinking and expected to be full off of the one beer they had in their life?
Yeah, I don't know what this guy's on about, dude. His brain got put a little too easy mode now.
I was gonna say my brain has had no ill effects from this beer so far, though. So I guess that part's right.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, what a weird note to end on.
Even is good after the cold has gone. He just means that it's warmed up, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Why say it like that?
After the cold is gone. Yeah. It's so odd.
I don't know why not say even as good when a little warmed up or something. I just after the cold has gone.
Yeah, still tastes good after sitting, for a bit. After getting to room temp or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be cold to taste good.
Yeah.
There's a million other ways to say it, but
He went with the one that wasn't very easy on the brain. All right, so because translated Modelo means like example or model, I went with the history of model cars this time.
oh, nice.
So we will throw it to our sponsor real quick and we'll come back with model cars.
Hi, I'm Peter Peener, and I'd like to share my famous peanut butter with everyone. Peanut butter is a peanut butter alternative, and it can do almost everything traditional peanut butter can do. Making a protein shake? Power it up with peanut butter. Have a dog? Treat them with some peanut butter. I'm proud to say that my product is locally sourced from me. Look for Peter Peener's peanut butter at a store near you today.
Warning, do not attempt to consume Peter Peener's peanut butter with any substance remotely similar to jams or jellies. Peter Peener cannot be held liable for any accidents or injuries that may occur while using his famous peanut butter.
One note before we get started onto model cars, I did already finish it.
I'm really close, but I think it's because I was reading the reviews.
Yeah, I will say it is easy drinking. It was, which, I mean, if any light beer is like worth its ilk, I feel like, yeah, it should just be able to be just mindlessly drank. Maybe that's what that guy meant.
Easy on the brain.
Easy on the brain.
I get it now.
Just mindlessly drink it. Okay, so in July 1886, Carl Benz publicly debuted his three-wheeled gasoline-powered vehicle dubbed the car. It would take a few decades for cars to become widely available to the masses, but shortly after they were, model cars followed. They were originally very expensive and were marketed specifically as toys for rich kids.
Oh. I mean, they still kind of are.
I don't.
Oh, well, not the model
think
car.
so.
Sorry. I was thinking of cars.
Oh, no. Yeah, just the models.
My bad.
So the earliest model cars were made either from lead or zinc.
Oh, yeah.
And because of that, they corroded really easily. And so pretty much all of the like earliest model cars are like destroyed now.
Yeah.
But by 1950, the toy cars started to get more durable, more popular, and more detailed. And they had been around long enough at this point that the kids who grew up playing with them as toys started wanting to collect them for their intricate designs. And so that's kind of how like actual model cars as a hobby started to kind of form.
Have you ever built a model car?
I was trying to think if I've ever actually built a model car. I don't think I have. I think the closest that I've come was I'm pretty sure we got some model cars for Christmas one year. And I think they might have had some like of the wheels not attached at first, but I think that's the closest I've ever gotten.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I bought a model car kit at like a garage sale or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever did really anything with it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I remember that. Was it a red car?
I don't remember. I have no idea.
Okay, I do remember seeing a box in the little bitty closet by the bathroom downstairs, right? Is that where you kept it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing it sitting there at least. Yeah, and I don't think you ever actually built it.
I think I opened it and saw like all the little pieces and there were like no instructions and I just never did anything.
A little too daunting.
Yeah. I didn't know where anything went.
So we'll kind of get into that actually about how the hobby evolves for people over time. But model cars have been made and are still made in some cases by hand. There's something like a process called like tin plates. So like where they're like pressed from a single sheet, which is a lot of like where the 40s kinds of cars were, through injection molding, which is where most model cars today are made from.
Mm-hmm.
And newer companies are getting into using 3D printing to print the parts and to cut costs and things like that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And all the while, they just keep getting like more complex as time goes on.
Yeah.
So the original model cars were made at the scale of 1 to 43, meaning that the car was 43 times smaller than the real things. And actually, in the hobby, apparently they referred to that scale, 1 to 43, as O scale for original scale, because that's what the earliest ones were based around.
Oh. How did they land on like that number, like 43? Like, why not just go to 50?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. And
Okay,
honestly,
yeah.
that's probably a guesstimation on most people's part, because the actual like standardization came like decades later, around like the 50s and 60s. Because before then, people were essentially just making them however they wanted to. There was no real like huge mass production of them or anything yet. And I think every company kind of had their own kind of sizing. But I read that different countries had different size preferences. So like apparently like France liked them a little bit bigger, while Britain
Huh.
preferred them to be smaller the better.
That checks out.
So through those kinds of things, like I think as companies got more like global in shipping them, they wanted a way to be able to get them close to the different like same sizes, so that way they could scale them appropriately to sell to the different areas. I think is kind of how it started.
Okay.
But today you can find model cars ranging from the scales of 1 to 87 and as big as 1 to 4 scale. Although both of those are like at the extreme
Jeez.
ends. Yeah. Both of them are at the extreme ends, because if you go smaller than 1 to 87, it's essentially like too tiny to be able to like have any sort of detail.
Mm-hmm.
Usually anything beyond that is apparently 1 to 87 is a sweet spot for like trains.
Oh.
Is a good scale for that. Yeah. And so like if you get like smaller, then the obviously the object gets bigger. So then you get into like spaceships and space stations and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
If you go too big, right? If you get bigger than 1 to 4 scale, then you've essentially just made like a really small car that doesn't work. So people just don't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So can you guess? I know you have no context for this. Can you guess what the most popular scale is?
1 to 34.
Oh, honestly, like, I mean, no, that's too big.
Okay. I was looking up to see how much a model car was, and so I typed in my car. I looked up a Mazda CX-5 model car, and all of the ones popping up are 1 to 34. That is the only reason I guessed that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
The most popular scale is 1 to 64. And can you guess, like, why that's the most popular?
Does it keep the car around like a foot or something, or?
No, actually, it keeps the car to around 3 inches.
3 inches? Seems so small.
Well, that is the scale of Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars.
Ah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. And so that's why it's the most popular, because for like 3 reasons, really. One, because it's like great for kids and like great for toys.
Mm-hmm.
You also get like, you still get some details. Like you can fit a lot of details onto a 3-inch car, and you can sometimes still have like some function. Like some of them can like open up the doors and stuff like that. And the wheels will still like move and stuff. But the most important reason why that one is the most popular is because it's the cheapest, where you can still get the details while still being like really affordable, essentially. And so that's the one that most people buy. So that's the one that most people make.
Hey, so I guess I wasn't thinking about Hot Wheels or Matchbox as being model cars, but I had a ton of those.
Yeah, whenever I was reading that though, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? I guess I actually was like a little bit into model cars for a bit, because I loved the Hot Wheels.
I know I had Matchbox,
Mm-hmm.
so we could tell our cars apart. Because for whatever reason, well, I know exactly, we weren't cool sharing them.
Well, oh, no. You weren't cool sharing them.
Yeah, which meant we weren't cool sharing them.
Yeah. I will say, whenever we'd use them, we would do some of the most popular things with them, because like they kind of go down like how people enjoy model cars. And one of them is like, obviously like kids will get interested in it because they just think that like cars are cool.
Yes.
And so like they also kind of branch out of like, here's how you can interact with model cars. And so some of them were like It's like racing them, collecting them, designing courses for them, building and painting them. And actually, they even talked about how now they lump like video game versions of cars as model cars that you can virtually race.
Ah,
So like games like Gran Turismo, Forza, and stuff like that. The model car community, I guess, maybe not all of them, but on the site that I was looking at, they kind of lumped that in because you essentially are collecting those cars, and people want to interact with them because they like seeing the functionality of the car, and it's just another way to engage with the hobby, I guess.
so I think the most popular thing we did with them was we would sit across from each other and
Mm-hmm.
ram the like throw the cars into each other or like roll them into each other
Yep.
and see which one flipped. And the
Yep.
one that flipped over lost.
Yeah, dude, that was like my favorite game. Actually, I was thinking of that too because we would pick. I think we would pick like what, like 5 or something.
Yeah, we'd almost have like a tournament.
Yeah, if your card got out, it was like out for the rest of the game, and then you would keep
Yes.
trying to win. And I remember my favorite 2 cars were this one that was like blue, and this other one that was like neon yellow. And those were like the 2 cars that I remember I would play that game with all the time. So like the paint was like all chipped. You could see like the metal underneath and everything.
Yes. Yeah, I guess I don't remember the colors, but I remember I picked one. I would always pick one that was just like a really heavy, solid like bruiser.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was like super, super low to the ground with like a really sharp hood, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, hopefully it just gets under your car, just launches it.
To flip them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I distinctly remember, for whatever reason, one of the cars that I remember the most that we had was this like black alligator. Do you remember that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Why? Like
I have no idea what that was about.
I know it was literally just, it looked like an alligator on wheels. Like there was no other like characteristics of a car on that thing, other than it had wheels.
Hey, if you type in alligator Hot Wheels, they come up. Looks like there were multiple.
Yeah.
I see the exact one that you're talking about. It's from 1994.
Yeah, the black one, dude. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that
it's-
I have that downstairs still.
Well, it's worth $13 on eBay.
I kept all of our Hot Wheels. I honestly probably still have the blue one that I'm talking about. I think that I do.
Hey, we also had this green one with like the alligator drawn on the paint, and then the like engine was sticking up out of the hood.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we do have that one. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Dude, we've
yeah.
got at least $17 here.
Just sitting in my basement. That's awesome.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude, if I will go look and see which ones I have. If I find any of the ones that we talked about, we can post them to the Instagram.
Yeah, let's do it. You can do a reel of them battling each other.
Yeah. Another thing that we used to do that I really fondly remember was we had some mismatched car tracks that you could like connect, like the plastic, like
Yes.
either Hot Wheels ones or like more generic, like fake, like roads essentially. And we would connect them as long as we could in one line, and we would put them on top of the bunk bed rail.
Yes.
And then we would try to jump them and see how like far we could go. But I'm realizing now, like, we would like angle it out the door because after a while they just like started running into the wall because the room was only like 6 feet wide.
Right. Yeah. So the room was just too small for that. But yeah, we would like try and launch them out of the room.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That was fun.
So it's actually interesting too because they kind of noted that the model car hobby has like a similar trajectory for a lot of people, where like you start playing with them as kids, and then as you move into adulthood, because you can like actually drive, then people want to start collecting them because they want to be able to actually drive that car. And then as you move into older adults, they usually like to get into either collecting or like building them, because then it turns into wanting to remember old cars that you used to either have or like admired when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just kind of cool of like, oh yeah, that does kind of make sense of like the different like life cycle of like how you would be into them.
Yeah, I'm going to look into getting a 1997 Dodge Stratus.
Yeah. Dude, that car was so bad.
Nah, man, that car was actually kind of cool.
No, it was not.
Dude, I feel like that car was all right. Like, because it was a V6, right? I don't know. I feel like compared to my friends, like my car had a little more get up and go.
You're talking about the Dodge Stratus, right?
Yeah, the like maroonish one.
Yeah, the one that I totaled.
Yes, I wasn't gonna bring that up, but yeah,
Well, dude, that car would slide and skid on completely dry pavement.
that was because of the tires. They were also from 1998.
Yeah, dude, they were so bad. I remember that was the car where the horn broke one time, and I was driving home, and something with the literally like the part, the internal like electrical part, short circuited or broke or something, and the horn just continuously ran. And I was driving home, and I was like pissing people off because they're like, "Oh, look at this freaking kid! He's just sitting there being loud, whatever." And I drove like probably 6 miles home from school with just the horn constantly on blast. And then I pulled into the house, and I remember Dad's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, I can't stop it. I don't know.
It's stuck. Yeah, it eventually like ran out of air, right?
No, eventually, what Dad just had to pull it, and he was like, "Well, I think this might be illegal, but we can't just have it, honking continuously." Yeah. After a while, yeah, the car just didn't have a horn.
Well, that was the least of its worries.
Yes, it was.
But I liked that car.
I did not, because that was also my first car.
I mean, I guess, yeah, like, I don't know. The car itself was like, I guess it was more the freedom that the car represented, you know?
Yeah, that's true. See, I really liked my Toyota Camry. I liked that car.
Yeah.
And that car had just as many problems, but...
Dude, and it was kind of the same color.
It was kind of the same color, but... So just to close out the episode, I have 3 different, records for model cars. So the first one is, how expensive do you think the most expensive model car is in US dollars?
I'm going to say 20K.
So it is a 1:8 scale, carved from a 500 kilogram block of gold.
Okay.
And it is valued at more than $6 million.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's of like a Lamborghini. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, well, it's also a pretty sizable chunk of gold.
I know.
I wasn't thinking that.
Okay, next up is, how many model cars do you think are in the largest collection of model cars?
Oh, 25,000.
Honestly, you're closer than I would have been. The world record currently sits at 37,777.
Jeez.
Held by a guy named Nabil Karam in Lebanon.
Nice.
Isn't that insane? He has to have a separate building to keep them in, right?
And there's also got to be cars in there that are maybe there's a 1998 Dodge Stratus in there. I have no idea. There's, how are you keeping track of all that?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you have that many and you get them certified, counted, he probably has a catalog of them somewhere. I would have to imagine.
Yeah, especially to avoid duplicates.
Yeah, that's true.
You can start hunting down the ones you actually want.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he might have duplicates. I don't know. That's just so many.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then they also kind of considered RC cars are a branch of model cars. So this is an RC car, but what do you think the fastest model car is? And it is an RC car. But...
Okay. In miles per hour?
In miles per hour.
I'm going to say 125.
Ooh, a little bit faster, I think, than what they recorded, but it is the Traxxas Speed Demon. It's a 1:7 scale RC car with a top speed of 100 miles per hour.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And I believe that is just straight line, drag race style, because
right.
You can't drive that, right? You can't control that trying to go 100 miles an hour. So I gotta imagine it's just straight line speed.
Yeah, I don't know how you would anticipate. I just can't imagine. Obviously, you wouldn't be going 100 into the turn, but yeah, that just seems, it's got to be a drag race. Hey, if you could, please rate or review us wherever you're listening to this podcast. That always helps us out. Follow us on Instagram at Short Pour Podcast, or send us a suggestion through email at shortpourpod@gmail.com.
And as always, whether you pour short
or pour long,
always finish.